So welcome to another video by All Rounders. So today we'll be discussing about more on data types and variables, and the subtopics would include arithmetic operations, what is ID, what is type function, what are comments, and what are valid identifiers. Over to Bhupendra.
So hello guys, here I will tell you about what are the identifiers, what are the mutable and immutable objects, what are the tuple function and ID function, and also about the what are the comments. And at the end, Jeet will tell you about the arithmetic operations. So let's get started. So what are the mutable and immutable objects? The property of the data objects that can be modified in the same memory location where they are stored are the mutable objects. The example of such mutable objects are the list and dictionary. So when a program is run, data objects in the program are stored in the computer's memory for the processing. While some of these objects can be modified at that memory location, others data types cannot be modified once they are stored in the memory. So the data types or the data objects that can be modified on the same memory location are the mutable objects, and which are not modified on the same memory location are the immutable objects. So here is the definition of the immutable objects. The property of the data objects that cannot be modified in the same memory location where they are stored are the immutable objects. So here are the example of the immutable objects are the numeric, string, and tuple. We can check the mutability of an object by checking its memory location before and after it is modified. If the memory location remains the same when the data object is modified, it means it is mutable. Otherwise, it is not mutable. So, now what is the function ID? To check the memory location of where a data object is stored, we use the function ID. So guys, we use the ID function to check about a particular data type locations. When we assign a value to some variable, it will store in some memory. And to check where it is stored, we use the function ID. The function ID will tell about the memory location of the particular variable. And here is the syntax of the ID. So in the syntax, we write the name of the ID, and then in the round brackets, we write the variable names. So guys, as in the previous video, Jeet also already told you about the type function, but here is the theory part of the type function. So Python has an inbuilt function type to check the data type. So as you already know about the syntax of the type and how we can write it, so here is the basic syntax of the type function. You will write first you will write the type and then the variable name. So guys, what are the comments? The comments are started with a has or the triple quotes or the double hashtag. The comments are used to make the program understandable to the other users. So if you return any program in the Python and that is too complicated for the other users, that program is understood by you only, and it is not understood by any other users if he or she can read it. So you will write comments on a line to describe the line that what is the use of that line in the program, and that's how a particular user can understand your program. So here is the syntax of the comments. uh, like you will write a single hashtag, then you will write the text or the whatever you want to write in the comments, then the double hashtag. So what are the identifiers? An identifier should be either start with a letter in the lowercase or the uppercase. In the identifiers, no special symbol is allowed. No special symbol here is the asterisk, and the at the date symbol and the exclamation mark, question mark are the special symbols, and these special symbols are not allowed in the identifiers. Guys, and they can also be followed by n number of digits or the alphabets or the underscores. So here are some examples of the identifiers. Like in the variables, you will write book name and num2. Then in the keywords, it is if, while, yield. In the functions, it is the print function, int function, length function. And in the classes, it is the calendar, random, or whatever you will write at there. So these are all the valid identifier names. And if you write any special symbol with along with these names, like the book name and After that, you will give an exclamation mark. Then it will give an error to you. So now, guys, Jeet will tell you about the arithmetic operations.
So guys, over here, I'll tell you about what are arithmetic operations. Any of the four basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division done on the variables are known as arithmetic operations. So basically, in Python, there are seven arithmetic operations, which are namely addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponent, and floor division. So let's move on to the first two of them. The first one is addition. So addition, it adds the operand on either side of the symbol, and it is the basic addition that we do in mathematics, and it uses the symbol plus. Then we move on to subtraction. So it subtracts the operands on the right from the operand to the left. So this is also basic difference that we do in mathematics, and it uses the symbol minus. Then comes multiplication. So it multiplies the value on either side of the operand, and it is also the basic multiplication that we do in daily lives, and it uses the symbol asterisk in Python. Then the division, it divides the left operands with the right hand operands, and it uses the symbol backslash. Then comes the modulus operator. So it returns the remainder of division of the operand on the left to the operand on the right of the operator, and it uses the symbol percentage. So what modulus is doing, it is returning the remainder to the user. Like if we take 3 and we take 2 and we write 3 modulus 2, so it would divide 3 by 2 and it would return the remainder, and as we all know, the remainder would be 1. So that's how modulus works, and it returns the answer which is more close to the negative infinity. So here the next one is exponent. So it calculates the values of the operand on the left raised to the operand on the right of the operator, and it uses the symbol double asterisk. So this is basically used as a power function, and if we take two numbers 3 and 2 and we raise 3 with 2, so the answer would be 9. So here that's how exponent works in Python. Then the next operation is floor division, and it uses the symbol double backslash. So it returns the quotient in which the digits after the decimal points are removed. And so basically what floor division does is it rounds off the number to the greatest integer which is less than or equal to that number. So let's take an example. If I take example 3 divided by 2 and I apply floor division on it, the answer would be 1, because when we divide 3 by 2 and we do normal division, the answer comes out to be 1.5, and when we apply floor division, it rounds it off to 1, which is the greatest number which is equal to and less than to 1.5. In case of negative numbers such as minus 3, minus 2, minus 5, or any other integer, floor division is a bit different. Like if we take minus 3 and divide it by 2, the answer would be minus 1.5. And then if we apply the floor division, the answer would be minus 2, because floor division also returns the answer which is more close to the negative infinity. So that was all about the operations. And now Bhupendra will be taking over and will tell you about the implementation part.
So guys, let's get started with the implementation part.
So guys, let's get started with the implementation part. First of all, you have to open the idle, then after that open the new file. Guys, in the new file, we have to write such bigger type of the programs like the program of the classes and functions and the modules and so on. But we will discuss in the later sections and in the later videos. So I am not going to use this new file right now because I am not going to write such a bigger type of programs, as I am going to use this interpreter directly. So let's start by taking a variable a and assign a variable 3 to it and press enter. Then after that, we will check the ID of this variable. So as in the syntax, write the ID, then in the round brackets, write the variable name, and press enter. So here you can see that the ID of this variable is this 20122022736. This means that the variable A is stored in this particular location in the of the memory. So for another example, let's take a variable B and assign a variable like 4.56. 4.56. This is a float type variable, and by checking the ID of this, you can see here this is the ID, and this ID is different from this ID. And in the memory location, there is only a unique value of each memory location. So you cannot store two variables at the same at the same memory location. So guys, this is all about the ID function. So let's go to the type function. So as in type, we will check the type of this variable A and then press enter. So this is the type int. This is the integer type variable. Then we will check the type B, type of the variable B. So this is the type float, which means it is a float type variable. Then guys, I am using here the comments. Like for the comments, you have to write the hashtag. Then after that, you have to write whatever you want. Like I am writing, this is the example of the ID function. For that, you have to also give the curly braces. Sorry, round bracket. Sorry. And after entering it, it will not give you any error because this is a comment. Similarly, using the double hashtag, you can also write a comment. This is also a comment. So here you can see. Now I will tell you about the identifiers, how they are. Like guys, you have to see here that A is an identifier because it is a lowercase character. It gives the output 3. B is also an identifier as it is also giving an output. Like suppose if you taking a variable like S and assigning us as you are taking the S with a exclamatory mark and giving it a value like 2, no, it's 2. Then by pressing it, you can see that it gives you an error, which is the syntax error, and it is shows you that it is an invalid syntax, which means that it is not a valid identifier. Valid identifier is underscore S is equals to 2. This is a valid identifier. So I think you have an idea about what are the identifiers and how to write it. So guys, now let's start with the arithmetic operations. We are taking two variables, and on that two variables we will perform each and every arithmetic operations one by one. So first of all, I will write a comment. Let's get started. Not it started with the arithmetic operations on the two variables. So let's take a variable Jeet. Jeet is assigning 45 and Bhupendra assign this value 5. Now performing the addition operation. Direct addition. Jeet plus Bhupendra. It shows you 50. You can also store this output in another variable, which like you have taken the variable like result. It says Jeet plus Bhupendra, and after writing the result, you will get your output 50. Now we go to the subtraction part. Result is equals to Jeet minus Bhupendra. So here is the subtraction part. It is the 40. Like 45 minus 5 will give you 40. As you can see here that I have used the result here also and here also. Guys, this is a dynamically typed language. So we can use a particular variable various times to store any type of data in it. Now go to the multiplication part. Multiplication. Then go to the result. As result is so long, so let's go to the R and cheat with a multiplication sign and oh sorry, it's Bhupendra. I'm a little bit confused about this. Now painting this R, so it will shows you the multiplication result 225. Now go to the division part. And in R you are storing Jeet divide Bhupendra. Why is he dividing me? It shows you 9, which is a perfect because you know that 5 9 is 45. Then we goes to the modulus part. As you know, as in the theory part, it will tell you about the modulus. So I'm not going to tell you about what the modulus does, but you have to know that modulus gives us the remaining remainder part. So like in R equals to G modulus Bhupendra, it will give you the remainder part. Let's check it out. The remainder is 0. Let's move on to the exponent part. Write the exponent, then press enter. Then in the R you are storing the exponential of Jeet. So you know about the syntax Jeet, then double asterisk and then write the 2 and press enter. It is valid. By checking the output we get 2025. So what do you mean here that in the Jeet variable there is a value of 45 and you multiplied it by 2 times. So you will get the result 2025. Now let's come to the last part, which is the floor division. As we already told you what is that and what are its symbols. So I'm not telling you again. You just go back if you didn't remember about what is the floor division. Then we are taking here a variable r, and in that we are storing g double backslash Bhupendra and then r. So here is the result. So guys, that's all about the implementation part. So thank you guys. That's all about this video. And in this video, you have learned what are the comments, what are the identifiers, what are the functioning of the type and ID function, and what are the mutable and immutable objects, and how we can use them, and what are their examples. And you have also learned about the different arithmetic operations as there are total 7 arithmetic operations, and we have also implemented that. Guys, I have suggested you to practice that and practice more and more so that you will learn easily. So guys, in the next video we will tell you about the numeric data type and the sequence data type in detail. So stay connected. Thank you guys.